try to explain to people what your role in this program is. In Thick as a Brick 1 and 2, you're sort of the co-lead vocalist, but also sort of a tour guide because it's a very theatrical presentation. How do you describe it when people ask what you do?
Actually, somebody, so I think it was in one of the English shows, somebody described me as one of Ian's avatars, which is, I guess, kind of a good description. I'm sort of the physical energy of the show,
Okay.
and I help to physically tell the story a little bit as well. In a kind of absurd manner,
Right.
which works.
Well, it's the twisted tale of Gerald Bostock. It's a unique musical presentation, and you're uniquely qualified, having both a background in music and theater.
Yeah.
This really wouldn't work if you were just a musician who stared at his feet or just an actor who couldn't sing. So, you want to tell us a little bit about your early training and what qualified you for this role?
Yeah, well, I had a band when I was younger, and I always wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a singer, but I knew that I would hit a lot of brick walls as I was highly undertrained at the time as a musician. So I decided to become an actor, which was my other love, and I trained at the Welsh College in Cardiff, and it was a very theatrical training. It wasn't musical theatre, it wasn't Broadway musical. It was very straight Shakespearean sort of training.
Okay, all right.
I didn't try to marry it with music at all at the time. But then I found, having left college and working out in the actual industry, I got pushed back into working in music, whether it was just me playing guitar in a show or me singing, unaccompanied, or things like that. I did do a couple of musicals, but it's not really my cup of tea.
Right. Prior to this, I mean, you also did Quadrophenia on stage, and that, from what I understand, was kind of a massive, grueling production. Maybe a little more work than this, or?
Vocally, for me, far more challenging than this show. This show sits lovely in my voice.
Right.
It requires very little warm up before going on, because Ian has a very fluid sort of storytelling type of voice, whereas Roger always used to go for these crazy, grueling high notes. And doing 2 shows of Quadrophenia back to back, the show, if you've heard the record, it starts with The Real Me and ends with Love Reign On Me, and those are 2 big hitter songs,
Right.
and that used to, strain in my throat a lot.
That's a work day. Well, and this one, I mean, on paper, it doesn't sound like it would work, because being familiar with Thick as a Brick, I thought, no, you can't have somebody else singing with Ian Anderson on that. But then when I saw the actual presentation last year, I thought, it works really well. You two blend together. I mean, it's almost a father and son type team out there.
Some people often ask that after the show, actually, oh, are you Ian's son? I'm like, no.
Fans can be very critical and demanding. I've found that out just with interviews. You seem to have been welcomed into the bosom of the Tull family. You've passed muster, it seems.
Yeah, until I was actually doing the show, I didn't realize how daunting it was to be stepping into this role. I just saw it as a job, an honor to work with this guy, and I got up on stage, and it wasn't until I saw people accepting my presence on stage that I thought, wow, this could have gone quite badly.
Has the show evolved? Has it changed? Is there anything, is there breathing room, or is there room for modification in this show?
There still has been modifications, even yesterday or the day before. We're changing things around slightly to add variation, to add a little bit more dynamic, but in general, it's been quite a strict structure from not day 1, but maybe day 30.
Do you ever get the urge to join a band and do something unstructured with no set list, no lighting cues, anything like that? Is it just bust loose?
I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I have a guy back at home, a drummer, and we're working on our own project at the moment. And hopefully by January, no, maybe not January, maybe February, we'll be out doing a couple of smaller gigs in London.
And what kind of music is that?
I'm trying to keep it as English as possible,
Nice.
but I guess it's kind of a new version of prog rock. It's called math rock.
Math rock. Nice.
Which just, messes around again with time signatures and things.
That's a little different, being in the driver's seat for you. I mean, you've been in the best position possible, but to call the shots, that's got to be a little different.
It is, but
Yeah.
I'll cross that bridge when I get to
All
it.
right, okay. Pressure's on, Ryan. I'm just saying.
Learning. I'm learning from one of the best. So.
Well, that's, you have, I mean, my gosh, the rock and roll icons that you've worked with. Pete Townsend, I understand he had a problem with your curly hair. Yeah.
He did. He just didn't have the vision. He said, I just can't have a mod, Jimmy the Mod, as having curly hair. And the rest of the guys on the production team went, well, we can always straighten it.
Never thought of that. Guilty pleasures. Now, again, you're touring with a prog rock legend. Has he ever caught you listening to ABBA or anything like that?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not ABBA.
Do you have any guilty pleasure music favorites?
Guilty pleasure music. Actually, Metallica is a kind of guilty pleasure of mine, really.
Yeah. What can we look forward to in the future? Anything we need to know that's coming up for Ryan O'Donnell? Your band's going to stay in England, is that the deal? You're not bringing it stateside?
I definitely tend to come over to the
Oh,
States.
good, okay.
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
been making a few friends along the way. I played with a chap called Jan Close in Williamsburg.
We know Jan Close.
Yes.
He's great.
He is great.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Anne, introduced me to Jan that I really listened to his album and really listened to it. And he's quite a magical guy.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ryan, and best of luck.
No, thank you very much.